यदायु स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति न बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः आपादम ॐ अग्नेनय सुपताराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देववयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेनो वो इष्टान्ते नम भुक्तिं विदेम ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ आब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसि जायताम् आराष्ट्रे राजन्यः शोरैषभ्याधिव्याधि महारथो जायताम् दोग्रीं धेनुर्वोढान्नड्वान् आसु सप्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णारतेष्ठाः सभेयो युवस्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामेन पर्जन्यो न वर्षतु फलवत्यो न वोषधयः पच्यन्तां योगक्षेमो न कल्पेताम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणचक्षुः स्तोत्रमथा फलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वो ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणम् अस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनिरतेः उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते महि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम नमस्ते गुरु
Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Sri Vinayakaya Namaha. So we just want to complete that Mundukhyopanishad, the remaining two, hopefully, because we have been going on to know the elaborate benefit, the elaborate method, elaborate way out regarding the Omkara, which is the seat of all gods, from by upasana of which we are able to get high mental peace and many more benefits. And so that particular Omkara section in our spiritual pathways is elaborated by the Mandukya Maharshi, who is the son of Munduka Maharshi, and it is said that the Rishi is born out of the frog. Munduka is a frog. See, we cannot ask and try to find out Rishi Moolam, Veda Moolam, Nadi Moolam, Napruchet. They say that you don't go into the study, investigation into the origin of these places. Veda Moolam, Nadi Moolam, and also Rishi Moolam. So all these Rishis, how they are born, it's all just it is just a creation, that's all. They're all born in order to spread knowledge and educate all people. So in that spree, Mandukya Maharshi has given in nutshell how best one can attain moksham, how best one can become happier, because life upon the earth is dvandva ridden. Sita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha, then Bhayam and Ananda, etc. All these things are there in this world. But at the same time, we have another opportunity also to prefer Ananda. So to prefer Ananda, which means the base is the Arogya. So Arogya Ananda Saubhagya Pradaha Parameswara. And that Parameswara is in the Omkara. So that is otherwise what called as this Mundukhyopanishad is in 12 slokas. There is something like an introspection. That is, we try to get inside us and know what we are. Because normally all our indriyas are outside and they love outside. Nobody wants to close the eye for a long time. It is hard. But closing the eye for a long time itself is a big exercise. That's what we get into the yoga. Because when you close your eye, the distances you reach is beyond. But when you open the eye, the sight line is limited. And one time it was said, the man is able to spot a point or object at the 14th mile. Where is that kind of vision? Slowly we got Kruta, Treta, Dwapara. Yugas are precedent to us. And now we are in the Kali Yuga, Prathama Pada. So we are just in the first put because the Kali, there are 4 parts. We are in the first Pada. And it is going on for lakhs of years. So that is different measure. So here, the Omkara is Akara, Ukara, Makara. This is how we understand. When you dissect the Omkara, because Atma Swarupam is Omkara Rupam. And what is Atma, Akara, Ukara, Makara are there. And now the Mandukya Maharshi is trying to educate us that the Omkara is everything. For example, in the verse 6, we get to note down that Eshaha Sarveswaraha, Eshaha Sarvajnaha, Eshaha Antaryami, Eshaha Yonihi, Sarvasya Prabhavaha Api Ayohi Bhutanam. So that we noted down. And when once you go to the next, that is, he is Ishvara, he is Gna, Sarvagna, he is Antaryami, he is the Yoni, and he gives rise for all beings. Therefore, these important functions are all occupied, portfolios rather, are all occupied by Paramatma. So he is Ishvara, he is all-knowing, and he is moving inside our body, inside our mind, inside our things, and he is the origin for any and any other thoughts of us, because bhavana matra santushtodaya ye namo namaha means where from the bhavanas emerge. The bhavanas again emerge from our mind and from our body and from our thinking and all that. So thereby, yavatvai bhavana tavatvai bhavati enta. Yad bhavana tad bhavati. In simple, they say, how we think, so it happens. So actually, things by themselves don't have anything to suggest, but it is we who are trying to distinguish and discriminate. Therefore, who is the yoni for all this kind of bhavanas? We are ourselves yoni. And originally, Paramatma is the yoni. And so, Prabhavaha means he is one who is causing any and everything. That's why you see in Vishnu Sahasranamam, Karanam Karanam Karta Vikarta Gahano Guhaha Vyavasayo Vyavasthana Samsthana Sthanado Dhruvaha. So ultimately, Paramatma Ishvara yaru andre Dhruvaha. You can't have any second for that. He is the ultimate and he is all in all. There is no second for that. He is the Niri. So Ishvaraha Ishwarinam or Ishwaranam or Amavaru Shakti Swarupani is Ishwari Ishwarinam. So Bhutanam, all Bhutas. Bhuta is living. Preta is departed. So the Pretatvam comes only after Bhutatvam. And again Pretatvam gets into the Bhutatvam. This kind of entry, re-entry is always taking place. And in the seventh mantra, we have noted down that Atma and has got to be realized. And moreover, there is that, what is that Atma is, said that is a conscious, the internal object, subjective world. And it is not that. And so a mass of consciousness, whatever you are trying to attribute, some kind of attribution to the Atma, it is not. So even see, Bhagavad Gita happens to be the summary of all Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Yoga Shastre, otherwise called as Moksha Shastre. So it is also Moksha Shastra, because people get tired. How long you do the same thing? You want change. So whatever changes that we are going through are all temporary. But we want something that is permanent. So Shashvata Sukham. That's why Amavaru is capable of giving, if you are eligible. There's that Nirvana Sukhadayini. ಶಾಶ್ವತಿ ಶಾಶ್ವತ ಐಶ್ವರ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, ಶಾಶ್ವತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಶಾಶ್ವತಿ, ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬ್ಲೆಸ್ ಅಸ್ ದಿ ಶಾಶ್ವತತ್ವ. ಸೊ and otherwise, unless one is aware and control over things, he cannot bless anybody at all. Something like in Vasishtha and Vishwamitra, when Brahmadeva came and said, I declare that you are Brahmarshi from now on. Please stop your penance. Then Vishwamitra Maharshi said, no, you are not Brahmarshi. You are not eligible to examine and certify me. Only Vasishtha Maharshi can do it. So again, all gods and Brahma himself went to say, Aya, Vishwamitra is impossible fellow. So you declare him Brahmarshi. And then ultimately Vasishtha has given the certificate of merit, saying that now onwards. Then only Vishwamitra stopped all this. So that's what the history tells us. Puranas tell us that only the eligible people can know the difficulty and all this scope and levels. And that's why there's also one more statement, Vidvaneva Vijanati Vidvajjana Parisramam. So Vidvajjana Parisramam Vidvaneva Vijanati Nahichara Vijanati Prasavedanam ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಸುಭಾಷಿತಗಾರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, see, a lady who has delivered a baby knows what is the labor problem or delivery and all those things. But a Vansya cannot know it. Similarly, non-scholars cannot know anything about the scholarship. But if the scholar is able to reach, come down to the level and make others understand, they appreciate. That's exactly what Kalidasa says in a Malavika Agnimitram, introducing two dance teachers. One is Ganadasa and Haradatta. So Ganadasa was one great dance teacher that he was able to come down all levels. Now, let us go to the text as such. We have already done it and our Satish Garu has read it. However, I can request him to read it again. 10,
7th mantra is it, Guruvale? 7th mantra?
10th.
Okay. 10th? Okay. स्वप्नस्थानस्तैजस उकारो द्वितीयो मात्रात्वर्ष उभयत्वाद् उत्कर्ष हवै ज्ञानसन्ततिं समानश्च भवति नास्या ब्रह्मवित्कुले भवति य एवं वेद. 10th. 11th. सुषुप्तस्थानः प्राज्ञो मकारस्तृतीया मात्रा इतेरपि तर्पा मिनोति हवा इदगुं सर्वम् अपीतिश्च भवति य एवं वेद. 12th also I'll read. अमात्र चतुर्थो अव्यवहार्यः प्रपञ्चो उपशमः शिवोद्वैत एवं ओंकार आत्मैव संविशत्यात्माना atmana atmanam ya evam Veda. 12th.
Beautiful, sir. Say, anyway, he has to conclude and come to a melting point or a finality. And so, in these 3 verses, having said our Atma or Omkara Swarupam is having 3 letters, divided into 3 parts. One is Akara, Ukara, and Makara. And he has explained also what is Akara, what is Ukara, what is Takara, and also Makara. And in this 10th mantra, he says, Swapnasthana Taijasa Ukaro Ditiya Matra Utkarshat Ubhayatvat Vibhayatvat Utkarshati Ha Vai Gnanam Gnanasantatim Samanaha Cha Bhavati Na Asya Brahmavit Kule Bhavati Ya Evam Veda. And in the next one, after having the Swapna, in the 11th verse, he touches the word Sushupti. The other day, Dr. Kendra Reddy has posted a wonderful idea, and probably in our WhatsApp group it was there. Probably it was one forwarded for him. So when you read that, you will also get some kind of idea about the spirituality progress. Because simply saying, oh, I am spiritual, people simply say, oh, I am materialistic, I am spiritual, and I am physical. All these things have no meaning. Because man is a composite personality. And he has to understand the composite personality of his own self. That's exactly what our Mundukhyopanishad is telling. Aya, you are not just a body, flesh and blood, but you are something plus, plus, plus. And that plus, plus, plus one is you have to go inside, antaralam. So when once you go inside your body with your own meditational success and also thought process and suggestion by the or upadesha by the gurus, then you will be able to note it. So ukara is swapnasthanaha. And what is this ukara? A is over. Now what is this ukara? It is called taijasa. The taijasa sthana is ukara. So to utter ma, it takes long time. And especially the ukara is important because it refers to the activity in the dream state. And in the dream state, we have that sense of superiority. See, that second sense of superiority, and that's the second stage that we are having. And when once you are able to have it, this is what he said, Gnana Santatim Samanaha Bhavati. That's a statement. Gnana Santati. Santati is the collectivity, or otherwise called as the superior knowledge. And in all aspects is called Gnana Santati. And Samanaha Bhavati becomes equal to all. And ultimately, what is that? As Brahmavit Krute Bhavati Evam Veda. And finds no one in his line of descendants who is not a knower of Brahman. That's the advantage. See, if there are some, we are able to pass on that kind of spiritual knowledge and the tinge of that to the next generations. That's why people take the name of the Vamsham and give attestations and honor to that. Inavamsha Udbhava, Inavamsha and Inakula Devata. So when we talk about Rama, not only we talk about Rama, Dasaratha and all people, but they talk about the Surya Bhagavan. So ultimately, Agastya Maharshi had to come and tell Rama, Aya, Kula Devata is there, Surya Bhagavan, how not you invoke him to finish off this tough problem? And then, so that Kula Devata, that's why Every time we think of the Kuladevata, because one in a way or two, there will be the power and the continuation of the influence and all that. So that's why Taijasaha andre Tejas. Tejas andre brilliance, light, varchasu, speed and so on. This Tejas is the Agni Swarupam. Already we have been told that Vaiswanara Swarupam or Agni Swarupam. Now, what is Agni known for? Agni is known for Tejas. Otherwise, we are not at all much bothered about him. That's why there is a prayer. Agnihi Tejovan, Agniriva Tejovan Aham Bhuyasam, Agnihi, Surya Bhrajovan, Suryaiva Bhrajavanaham Bhuyasam. Is it not? Secondly, then between Surya and Agni, there is Indra, the chief of all gods. So, Indraha Indriyavan, Indriyavanaham Bhuyasam. So here you observe, we want Tejas, we want Indriya, we want Bhrajaha, brilliance or Kirti. Brilliance is the Kirti. Because Kirti is something that will be long-standing than our body. So that Yasho Bimbam is constant. But our physical Bimbam is not constant. Adiraja Yasho Bimbam Adarsham Prapya Vangmayam Tesham Asannidhanepi Naswayam Pasya Nasyati. Anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ Dandin Maharshi. Dandin also a great Rishi, you should say. He is a great scholar. That's why even Kalika Devi or Vidya Saraswati comes and tells Kavir Dandi. And so when talking about giving estimate of the Bana, Dandin and Kalidasa. So Banan Bagge Matanadi, Ammavaru, then she talks about that Dandin. Then she gives the attribution that he's a Kavi and Krantadarsi. He knows any and everything. His imagination distance is simply great. And when when all these people are commented, then Kalidasa became restless. It is said, Koham Rande. And then that Amavaru says, Tvamevaham nasamsayaha. You are I am you, and you are I. Absolute identity between you. That's why he's a Saraswati himself. So in that manner, I'm going a little further. A deviation, but no matter. Because the Taijasa Swarupam is that which will allow you to have the Gnana Santati. See, we must have Indriya, we must have, and when once you have got the Taijasa Swarupam, then I think we'll have the Bhrajas. What is Bhrajas? Eso Sariram, Kanti Sariram. So that's why, or otherwise Kanti and Yasaha and all that will be in the form of a sound, Nada. That's what Akara, Bukara, Makaraha. So when you say that Omkara is having not only the three parts, but it is also associated with the sound. That's why our gurus will tell that whenever you sit for Omkara Pranava Upasana, you have to spend more time on the Makara. All people will stop just Avuma. No. This is the way that you have to, that is, you have to dwell long upon the Makara sound. And that Makara sound will be something like the Brahmari Pranayama, which people are said. So you are trying to fill the entire internal systems also with sound. Of course, doctors are there, ultrasound and all those things. That sound is different. But the sound that is being sent inside our body to every nook and corner, I think, is simply makara and avuma. So when you say that, the next mantra we are coming to that makara. So when you are spending more time upon makara, as our teacher, our yoga teacher who came to our class, take classes, a lady, Govindaraj's missus, she was telling, whenever you do this bhastrika, you have to only leave the breath. And also when you do onkara, you have to do makara more time. So that's how, I don't know, I'm not a teacher of yoga, but as you practice you observe yourself, how much of spiritual change or some feeling of happiness you feel inside you, and after some time doing the Omkarapasana, then you will see lot of relief and lot of happiness. ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಣವ ಉಪಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಣವ ಉಪಾಸನದ ಸುಖ, ದಿ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಓಂಕಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದು ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್. ಟ್ರೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಅನುಭವ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಪುರಂದರದಾಸರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅನುಭವದ ಅಡುಗೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡರೋ ಅಂತ ಬಲ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅನುಭವದ ಅಡುಗೆ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅಡುಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಿಚನ್, ಟು ಕುಕ್. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಡೂ ದಿ ಕುಕಿಂಗ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ದಿ ಕಂಫರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಂಜಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರಿಲೀವಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಹಂಗರ್ ಪೇಯ್ನ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅನುಭವದ ಅಡುಗೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಈ ಉಕಾರವನ್ನು ತೈಜಸ ಸ್ವರೂಪಂ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಉಕಾರವನ್ನು ಸರಿಯಾದ ನಾದದಿಂದ ತುಂಬಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನಾದ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಗೆಟ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂತತಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂತತಿ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ನಾಟ್ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಂತತಿ. ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ in Mahanarayana Upanishad, we see that Mahanarayana Upanishad Rishis are sparing 3 sections to talk about the Prapti. Actually, Brahmana ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡೋದು, but our goal is to have a Brahma Prapti. ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಪ್ತಿ ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಯಾರು ಆಗಿರೋರೇ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಅಂತ. ಸಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಿತ್ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವತ್ ವರ್ತತೆ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ, ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ಏವ ಬ್ರಾಹ್ಮಣ ಅಂತ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ, ಅಹಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾಸ್ಮಿ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮೈವ ಅಹಂ ನಾಹಂ ಪರಃ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮಹಾವಾಕ್ಯಗಳಿಂದ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತಂದರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ರಿಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಯು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗಾಡ್. So aham devaha, devo aham. It is exactly what you call in Mahanyasam. Narudro rudramarchayet. So Rudranagavanu, Rudranana. To understand Rudra, understand the higher principles, it is a great deal of effort. For example, Rama is there. Rama, in spite of being himself an avatara, he sits before Vasishtha Maharshi. And before the war, or Bharadwaj Maharshi, before the war, or Atri Maharshi. So all these Maharshis have given him enough knowledge and strength that he will be able to meet up the tough Rakshasas. So Kabandha is the first experience. Suddenly Kabandha Rakshasa comes. And after Kabandha, in Ramayana, as we see in Aranyakanda, there are large number of Rakshasas he has to meet with. But unfortunately, we don't have any Rakshasas. But we don't know how many hurdles he had to face in the Rama and in the Ramayana, in the journey in the forest, because he is a Sastrikaha Ramaha Tada. He was having a woman with her, his own wife with her. So thereby, there is a more and more vigilance and care and strength and all that. That's why Sri Rama is very important. So Srirama Shaktim Jhayet anta hange illi yakandre Rama became a Taijasa Swarupaha, in sense that he became a very powerful, more powerful than the Agni himself, I should say, because always the Shakti of the individual is more powerful than the individual himself. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಚೀಟಿ ಬರೆದು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ರೆ that will have a effect more than you yourself going there. ಒಂದು ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಮಗೆ. Sometimes even for seat in our National College, Jayanagar, and students used to bring recommendation letter from the minister. Sir, ಅಂತ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು, ಸರ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸೀಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಸರ್, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಾಲ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬಂದರೆ, ಪಾಪ some more than 10 people or around that people come with a letter from the minister. ದೆನ್ ಆವಾಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಏನು ಸರ್ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನರನ್ನು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ಸೀಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಲೆಟ್ರ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಸೀಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ಡು, ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಸ್ಪೇರ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಟು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ದಿ ಸೀಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ನಾವು, ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ನಾವು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಆಮೇಲೆ KEB ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಇರೋ ಸೀಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಜಸ್ಟಿಫೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್, ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ದೇ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ 10 ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, 10 ಸೀಟ್ಸು ಒಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಗತಿ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ, ಆ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನಾನು ಲೆಟ್ರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರೈಸ್ಡ್, ಐ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಪರ್ಸ್ನಲ್గా ನಿಮಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಆ ಲೆಟರ್ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡಿಟಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ, ಯು ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ಎನಿವೆ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಸೊ ತೈಜಸ ಸ್ವರೂಪಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ ರಾಮ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್, ಬಟ್ ಆಂಜನೇಯ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ರಾಮಶಕ್ತಿ ಮಹಂ ಜಾಯೇತ್ ಅಂದರೆ ರಾಮಶಕ್ತಿ ಉಪಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಹಾನುಭಾವ ಆಂಜನೇಯ. ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ when it comes to the extent of combat between Rama and Hanuman, somebody has to come and resolve their fight, and ultimately Rama understands that he has captured my Shakti, and my Shakti is more powerful than myself. Anta Rama also says, that's why Rama and Rama Shakti Dhyana. So these are the separate, that Shakti is important. So like that, here also Taijasa Vrittihi Swapnavastha. So ಆ ಸ್ವಪ್ನಾವಸ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಜವಾದ, even among the dreams, by now everybody must have had lakhs of sleeps and lakhs of dreams. And as we see large number of clouds in the sky, white clouds, do you care any cloud that is white and just going away, being drawn out by the wind? No. But you take attention of such cloud which is dark, which is lightning, which is rumbling, and which is low hanging also. So means July clouds, Rabindranath Tagore describes the July clouds are dark and lightning and low hanging ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂಥ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ತೈಜಸ ಸ್ವರೂಪಂ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಅದು ಈ ಸ್ವಪ್ನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಪ್ನ, ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಮ್ to people through which one is able to get hold of many more things and get a kind of knowledge. Best example, as you are all aware, is the Ramaraksha Stotram. Buddhakausika Maharshi got the Ramaraksha Stotram in dream, Swapnam. And the Swapnopadesha, Swapna Darsana, and Swapna Sakshatkara, etc. are said to be very, very valid and powerful. Green dreams. I mean, that is even what dream you have had when you are a small boy even that will not get erased in our mind. That's why I just have to mention our Dr. Gare. At one time, we had some talk, and in that, sir, you please keep up one green dream memory diary ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಡೈರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿತಾ ಬನ್ನಿ. ದಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ರಿವೀಲ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ and the spirit and the way that you are spending your life ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ ಮರ್ತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪಾಪ. But he was a wonderful contributor to Adhyayana Kendra, also World Association for Vedic Studies, and though himself is a scientist, computer sciences, so he was in the Department of Computer Science, the Institute of Science. So anta ಅವರು ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ. We can't find second person like Gare. But still he has so much love, affection and contribution toward that. And if you just turn the Vedaganga volumes, you see a lot of, he has made translation to the Ganapati Ganesha Purana. Ganesha Purana one translate madi with the text Purana, and he has also condensed it to the convenience of all that. So he's called Ganesha. So why I'm telling is, it's a Taijasa Swarupam. Kim that Taijasa Swarupam. If at all I am wrong, please check me also. It's all just, I am talking extempore. Paramatma hengi heltaro. That way I am talking. I have not referred to any books, any commentaries or anybody. So Taijasa, because that is the only stage that superior knowledge, and it heightens the superior knowledge, and he becomes equal to all, and he will not find match for him. There is no match for higher people at all. You can't have second match like that. Many of the presidents of the country, they don't have a match. They are themselves individuals. That's why it is said man is style, man is a fashion, man is individualistic. Even though children are born in the family, the children don't become like the father. But Kalidasa, Saraswati says, Dausyantam apratiratham tanayam nivesya pitra tadarpita bhuyibharam shante padam karishyasi asramesminanta. And even Kashyapa Rishi, in that he blesses Dushyanta Maharaja when he was united with his wife and boy, Bharata. Then so he gives a Maha Ashirvada that you try to beget a son. I mean, you let your son be like you. That's why Bharata, even today we remember that Bharata live. So that's a Taijasa Swarupam, which is common to few people. There is no second. We don't have second Chakravartis like Satya Harishchandra or Sibi Chakravarti or Dushyanta or Nala Chakravarti. Well, they're all individualistic, all those. So that's what it is called, all that Onkara and Ukara Swarupam. Ukara is that. And then whatever you want to have in heights of knowledge, you have to get into the dream. And in the dream, at least, you will have some kind of, even Sita Devi also says, see, Nidra Devi is Matsari and ಹೇಳ್ತಾಳೆ. Even this Nidra Devi is Matsari at me. See, apart from the Rakshasis that are there and Ravana and all these things in the circumstance in which I am placed, at least if I get to sleep for a little while, I may be able to get a vision of Rama, because I am completely doing Rama. There is nothing in my body, in my mind and all that, but Rama only. So Rama, Yavaga, when you are that, when you remember too much of it, the same will appear to you in dreams. So adrushtamapya adrushta vaibhavat karoti suptim jana darsanatithim anta. So that's what is this Sri Harsha statement. So certain things which you have not seen but become visible to you in your dream. So when you are in dream, you will get it. So that's why I think the swapna sthanaha tejasaha ukaraha. That's what is a wonderful statement. Ukara is located in the swapna. We can't escape. Sleep antaralva, when you are on the bed for 8 hours, all the 8 hours you are not unconscious. The actual sleep may be around 90 minutes, or even there the gets divided. So Nijavada Nidra, Sushupti and Turiya are the two important stages which one has to get on to. Yesterday I was talking to one yoga teacher. Sir, I go to Turiya Avastha. I know what is the experience. In the Turiya Avastha, I have to come to the next one. So in the Turiya Avastha, all differences get merged. And it is not also Sunya. It is something. So a something ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ unable to define and all that, but to note what that something could be is a personal experience. That's why all Gayatri mantras of gods begin with Tat. Tat savituhu varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayatu. Just separate the word Tat. See, Tat savituhu varenyam bhargaha. That is varenyam bhargaha, the choicest effulgence of the Paramatma Savita. You don't know that. What you see, what you experience is ordinary. But if it were to be an extraordinary, that is Tat. And that Tat is only known to very, very few upasakas. Similarly, Tat Savituham Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Suvarna Pachaya Dhimahi Tannaha Garudaha Prachodayatu. So this is a Garuda mantra. So we see lots of falcons, family of them or all that. But that Garuda, on whom you are meditating, is Suvarna Paksha in true sense. See, Paksha is the wings of Garuda, untiring and unable, and nobody can match with it. One time, Garuda became very much proud, saying that, oh, I am the Vishnu Vahanam. I am able to carry him any and everywhere wherever he wanted. So after all, whatever be the weight of Vishnu, I can carry Vishnu on that. And Vishnu Bhagavan knew that suddenly this fellow has changed. So then he realized when he was not able to carry even a blade of grass. All the energy is only because of Vishnu in him. And that Vishnu, in Maya Bazaar, you see that Krishna sitting in an old man's shape, you go back, and he was trying to shake him and lift him and take him on his own, but Gatotkaja, but was a grand failure. Then he realized it must be Krishna and all that. So that's a wonderful classical video that we can remember. Therefore, in the 10th mantra, we are getting introduced to the Ukara Nada. Akara Nada is a Vaiswanara. That is common. You will be aware of so many things. And Ukara Nada is something you transcend that Jagrada Avastha, get into the Swapna Avastha, and in Swapna Avastha, your experiences are different. And that Swapna, which you will remember lifelong, is the green memory. Everybody has got such things, but it must be spiritualistic also. For example, I remember when I went to, it's not fact, when I went to my Mahakala temple, in the dream I'm telling you, and at that time, the Mahakala temple is not, as you see, not now, but there was a lot of sand, and the whole small temple was there, and on the sand, just a parapet wall or some small wall was there or surrounding, and there were so many Kapalikas, Bhairavas, and all these Shiva Bhaktas, and smearing their body with the entire ashes, were just leaning to the small wall, no height, and were in trance. And you could see number of such Shiva Bhaktas in different modes. So Bhairavas and Kapalikas and Bhasmodhulita Vigrahas, because they believe that Ishvara is Bhasmodhulita Vigraha. The entire body is Bhasma. What is that Bhasma? Saundarya Lahari, second stanza or so, our Sunkaracharya says that the Pada Dhuli of Adishakti Swarupini is being a little taken out, and all this Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara started that. Taniyam Sampam Sum, that Pam Su is the small dust, put dust of Parameswari, and Shiva smeared the Parameswari's dust all his body, and therefore Sada Shiva Maya. Even Dakshinamurti also, the other day explained, there are 3 or more forms of Dakshinamurti Swarupam, and one of them is Ardhanareswara Swarupam. There is to the right side, to the left side, there is here, there is the one Tatanka, otherwise serpent. So Tatanka Yugali Bhuta Tapanodapa Mandalaya Namo Namaha andre Dakshinamurti Swarupinyai Namo Namaha navaga. See, when she becomes Dakshinamurti, and she has occupied that Gnana Swarupam, absolute Gnanam. There is no there is no dearth, or there is no partaking of that. Absolute Gnanam. That's exactly what it is. When you sit in the Ukara Nada, because Nada Swarupaha Devaha Shivaha anತಾರೆ. Actually, ಆ ನಾದ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉಕಾರನಾದ ನರಸಿಂಹಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಉದ್ಭವಂ in Bhagavatam, beautiful. When Hiranyakasipu hit the pillar, there was terrible sound. ಎಷ್ಟು ಶಬ್ದ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ನಾದ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ನಾದ ಸ್ವರೂಪಾಯ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ನೃಸಿಂಹಾಯ ತೇ ನಮಃ ಅಂತ. ಉಗ್ರಂ ವೀರಂ ಮಹಾವಿಷ್ಣುಂ ಜ್ವಲಂತಂ ಸರ್ವತೋಮುಖಂ ನೃಸಿಂಹಂ ಭೀಷಣಂ. ಈ ಸ್ವರೂಪಗಳಿಂದ ಆ ನಾದ ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ ದಿ ನಾದ bursting, coming out from the pillar, falling, the pillar got divided, and only Hiranyakasipu, Prahlada were available, wakeful, maybe gods, but slowly Hiranyakasipu immediately understood, I never heard a sound like this in my life hitherto, although I am familiar with my eardrum, so many kinds of sounds, high and low. And then he immediately confirmed that it is the Narayana whom he is searching, because anytime he went to Vaikuntha to find Narayana, there was only outboard, not inboard. Interview hours, in and out, so there was out only. So even at the interview hours, Hiranyakasipu went to Vaikuntha, found outboard. So Bhagavatam tells that though he is not seen inside the Vaikuntham, but he was hiding himself in the heart of Hiranyakasipu. That's the Bhakta. Hiranyakasipu is a Mahabhakta, as you know. Jaya Vijaya is coming down. So, but the discovery of the Paramatma in our own self is our attempt in our human life. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರೋ ದೇವತೆಗಳನ್ನು ಆತ್ಮನಿ ದೇವತಾ ಸ್ಥಾಪಯೇತ್ ಅಂತ ಮಹಾನ್ಯಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. See, first of all, what is that you have got to do before you do Rudrabhishekam? Our Bodhayana Maharshi or other Maharshi say that Atmani Devataha Stapayet. Stapayet ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ all the gods have got their respective locations in our body. That's what in Anugita, the Siddhapurusha says, Pranasthaneshu pranaha tishtati. Pranastha, there are in our body, there are innumerable pranasthanas. ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣಸ್ಥಾನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ when once the pranavayu gets into us, it's a Paramatma. As you see, yo anta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptam sanjeevayati akhila shakti-dhara swadhamnam pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. So pranan purushaya tubhyam namaha. ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನಾ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಟು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ವಿಷ್ಣು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂದರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಗೆಟ್ಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್? ಪ್ರಾಣಸ್ವರೂಪ ವಿಷ್ಣು. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯ ತಸ್ಮೈ ನಮಃ ಅನ್ನುವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿ ಇದ್ದು ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರುವ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ವ, ಅಪಾನ ವ್ಯಾನ ಉದಾನ ಸಮಾನ. But only 5 panchapranas are there inside our body, and they are good enough to regulate, manage, improve, and make the body be useful for number of purposes, including the spiritual heights. Therefore, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸ್ವಪ್ನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ, ಡ್ರೀಮ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಅದೃಷ್ಟ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸ್ವಪ್ನನೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಡ್ರೀಮ್ಸ್. That's a long statement. But what dream was there inside was not recognized at all. And therefore, this Vukara is Taisa Swarupam. When once you come to the next one, Sushiptisthanaha Prajnaha Makaraha Trutiya Matra Iterapi Minoti Ha Va Idam Sarvam Api Sarvamapi Tascha Bhavati Yaha Evam Veda. This is the slogan that you find in every Upanishad. No Upanishad is final. There are, as our Guru Dr. Shende was telling, thousands of Upanishads. And though we can count one or two prominent prime Upanishads to our Veda, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and all that. And I was only thinking there are only 2 Upanishads for, no, there is only 1 Upanishad for Sukladhara Veda when I was working my PhD. And of course, I did not work on Isavas Upanishad. I worked only 39 chapters of Sukladhara Veda, Vajrayana Samhita, and Kandva. And my thesis was only for that, because time is always the binding factor. My professor was telling, Prabhakar, degree is important, not the subject. The subject is life scale, lifetime. So anyway, so I did not work much on the Upanishad, but I must thank and I'm finding, and Dr. NCB Nath Garu, who is now 26 years or so, still is a Rishi. And he tried to explore, say that, Prabhakar, there are 19 Upanishads belonging to Sukladhara Veda. I know only 1 Upanishad, but there are 19 Upanishads. He has made a good study of all of them. And that article by our NCB Nath has been published in our Veda Ganga. So don't take Veda Ganga is just a book. It is a Bible. I mean to say that it's a Gnana Saraswati is there. That's why Veda, Veda is knowledge. Ganga is Pravaham. Ganga is never ending. That's what I want. 32 volume, 32nd volume is peeping in December to get released. So imagine 31 volumes if we go through. In fact, so many people have suggested to take up some of the important articles and bring out separate volume also, saying that these are all, so subject-wise divided, something like Sayana's commentary being studied, dividing the Sayana's commentary of Rigveda into different categories of knowledge, because Sayana is Saraswati. But for Sayana, we could not know the meaning of the Vedas. Veda Prakasa is impossible. So Wilson will say Sayanacharya is a ladder to climb to the heights of understanding the meaning. Otherwise, who knows what the mantra means like that? Even for Upanishads, there are Upanishad Bhashyas. Our Shankara is the top. And Shankaracharya has picked up, because in the small life, in a short lifespan of 32 years, he has done a marvelous work. There is no match for Shankara, Jagat Guru Shankaracharya. Maybe there are so many gurus, they make style themselves as Jagat Guru, but nobody can meet. That's why there are gurus and gurus, there are poets and poets. Kavinam Ganana Prasange Kanishtikadisthita Kalidasaha anta. Kalidasa Guda Kavi Vayamapi Kavayaha. Navu Kavigale anta unsala dukkhavagi helkonತಾರೆ, because nobody can meet up the status. And what dramas or what kavyas Kalidasa are written, they are not just materialistic, but at the same time they cross the bonds and give you all that. Shakuntala is a goddess. Dushyanta is a search, something like Hanuman, searching to find out the Shakuntala, and so on. So here, next mantra is, as our Satish Garu read it, Sushuptasthanaha prajnaha makaraha tritiya matram. So, what is makara? Makara is the tritiya matra, that is the ultimate. So, any sound originating from akara would merge into makara. So, akara is mundane and makara is super mundane. And when once you have the super mundane knowledge, that's why it's called pathway to spirituality, to reach up the goals of spirituality. And in that excellence, Hanuman is top. But for Hanuman, nobody who goes to Lanka will be able to meet Sita. They will just go and come back. But Anjaneya Swami, when the moment he landed in Lanka, he had a doubt, what can Rama and Lakshmana, Sugriva landing here would do at this kind of Rakshasas guarding the Lanka so much. And first he had doubt whether at all they will be able to fight with Ravanasura. Such a security, power, and Rakshasas, they are not Manavas, Rakshasas. They are not Vanaras also. But Hanuman is a Buddhimatam Varishtaha. What was his decision was, let me find Sita. Then I decide what we should do. That is the solution for all our worries. See, without doing our future, we keep on worrying, oh, ನಾಳೆ ಎತ್ತಬೇಕಲ್ಲ 5 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ, ನಾಳೆ 5 o'clockಗೆ ಫ್ಲೈಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅವ್ರು ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ದಿನ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ವರಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. No, let 5 o'clock or before that you happen, then you will be taking action. So that is exactly the message from Ramayana. When you are in the context, when you are placed in circumstance, you just try to design planning and you will execute it also. That's what exactly. The moment Sita he saw in grief and crying and amidst the Rakshasas, Hanuman did not jump to her and say, oh, Sita, are you there? She's a princess, etc. So you observe that's exactly is what is called a makara. See, Kundalini yoga is a siddha. And yoga and Anjaneya Swami, that's why even today we are having temples being built to Anjaneya Swami, more and more Ganapati, Durga and Anjaneya. The other gods are there, they are dummies now. Hardly we see Rama temples being newly built except in Ayodhya. So we see that Hanuman is a worker, is a practical person. At the same time, he has the power of the gods in him to execute. Rama Shakti Maham. So actually he flew to Lanka like the arrow of Rama. Never the Rama will employ 2 arrows nor 2 words. Ramaha dvi na prayujyate, dvi na vadati anta. He never used 2 words. Satyavan. Satya, there is no second satyam to come to prove the truth. ಸುಳ್ಳಾದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾನ್ಷಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಸತ್ಯ ಅಂದರೆ 1, ಏಕಂ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಾಮನ ಬಾಣ ಅಂದರೆ ಏಕಂ. ಸೊ ಆ ತರಹ ರಾಮಾವತಾರ ಯಾರೊಬ್ಬರು ಹೇಳಿದರು, ಈಸ್ ಎ ಮಾನವ, ರಾಮ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಎ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಾಡ್ ಅಂತ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಗಾಡ್? God coming in the form of man. All gods come in the form of man to see that dharmodharana takes place. So actually, even Narasimha Avataram, a tough avataram of all that. In fact, Narasimha Swami, when Brahmadeva went to have a private complimenting to Narayana, then he was alone. Brahmadeva was alone. Nobody was there. He told Brahma, hey, you have been giving me a lot of trouble. ನೀವು ಆಡೋ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ವಿರುಲೆಂಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನನ್ನು ಸಂಹಾರ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಪಿಕಪ್ ಎ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಬ್ಡ್ಯೂ ದ ರಾಕ್ಷಸ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ಸೋರ್ಸ್ like now on somebody to bring up peace and upliftment. ಸೊ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮದೇವನಿಗೆ ಕಾಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಸಾಕಪ್ಪ ನೀನು ಈ ತರಹ ಅವತಾರಗಳು ಮಾಡಬೇಡ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದ ರಾಮಾವತಾರಂ ಅಂಡ್ ಅದರ್ ಅವತಾರ, ಸಾಮಾವತಾರಂ, ಕೃಷ್ಣಾವತಾರಂ. ದರ್ ಆಲ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್. Only in Krishna Avataram, being final Avatara as we think, Tamo, there, the Kalki Avatara Bitkode, 9th Avatar also, there he has got double power, Manava, Madhava. So he is Manava when he is to be human, Madhava when he has to be divine. So because he used all that in Mahabharata, as you know that, when he went for Raibaram, he was just a Manava, putting forth the Dharmaraja's proposal and all that. When it became impossible, then he became Madhava. Anyway, so ಈ ಸುಷುಪ್ತಸ್ಥಾನಃ ಪ್ರಾಜ್ಞಃ ಮಕಾರಃ and ಸರ್ವಂ ಅಪೀತಿ ಚ ಭವತಿ ಏವಂ ವೇದ. ಈ 11th ಮಂತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕಾರದ ಪವರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಈ ಮಾಂಡೂಕ್ಯ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗೆ ಅಕಾರ ಉಕಾರ ಮಕಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಶಕ್ತಿ, ಉಪಯೋಗ and personal experience, laboratory job, everything is being marked out. Because unless one has got that kind of siddhi of akara, ukara, makara or onkara siddhi, it is hard for anybody to talk about it. Platform lecture ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಅದನ್ನು ಅನುಭವಿಸಿ ಹೇಳೋರು ಬಂದು ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದೇ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಯು and also urge you, inspire everybody to get on to the Omkara Upasana. Enough, because Om Mityekaksharam Brahma. So when you say Gayatri preamble alli, mantra upade, Gayatri japa preamble alli, ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? Om Mityekaksharam Brahma Agdir Devata. So you have got Devata, Rishi, Chandasu, etc. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ then you say Agni ಅಂದರೆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ. So Devata, what is the deity that is occupying in the Omkara? Agni. Agni Devata. Brahma Rishi. So Rishi yaru andre Brahmadevane Rishi adakke. Knowledge itself is Rishi. So Omkara is knowledge. The person who gave you the Omkara is also Brahma, the knowledge source, repository. ಅದರಿಂದ the entire Omkara is all in all. But ಏನಂದರೆ we have to do the Omkara and get on to these things. I think I have not completed today, although I planned. I think next week we'll be able to do it, because only 12th mantra is there, and therefore ultimately what is Omkara is, it is simply blissful, it is simply wonderful, simply non-dualistic, and at the same time it is the very Atma itself. Because Atman Nitya Mantrayata, that is what is Atma Raksha Kartavya ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮಹಾನ್ಯಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಹಾನ್ಯಾಸ ಪೂರ್ವ ರುದ್ರಾಭಿಷೇಕ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ವಾಸನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗಿವನ್ lectures on Mahanyasa for some years. Every weekly one class ತರಹ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. Now by December we are planning to give you a handbook, say manual, Mahanyasa manual ನೀವು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು. There is one person in Memphis, America. He is regularly taking 2 classes and he's already written on Dasangarautarikaranam, Shodasangarautarikaranam, and all these things. He has given articles and we have published in our Veda Ganga at the same time, even the latest Veda Ganga, and also in our Veda Sarit. And now we are trying to bring all that into a book form, like our Buddhapalli Raghava, who has just given the glimpse of that Arunaketuka Agni Chayanam last Sunday, and we are very much obliged for him. He is so pictorial, and we understand Kam Agnim Chunute Nachiketamagnim Chinvanaha Pratyakshena. Alli matra the word Pratyakshena is being marked out. There are 27 ಋಷೀಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅರುಣ ಪ್ರಶ್ನ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ವೇದ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ವೇದವನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಜ್ಞಾನ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ವೇದಾ ಪ್ರಮಾಣಂ, ವೇದಾ ನಿತ್ಯಂ, ಅನಂತಾ ವೈ ವೇದಾ, ವೇದೇಶು ಸರ್ವಂ ನಿಗದಿತಂ, ಸರ್ವವೇದೇಶು ಈಶ್ವರ ಏವ. ಈ ತರಹ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳೋರು ಗೊತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಓನ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಆ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಬೀಂಗ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಶೌಲ್ಡರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ. ಅವರೇ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ರಕ್ಷವ ಭಕ್ಷವ ತ್ವಮೇವ ಶರಣಂ ಹಲೋ ನಾರಾಯಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ರಕ್ಷಾ ಮಾಡು, ಭಕ್ಷ ಮಾಡು. ಭಕ್ಷ ಅಂದರೆ ಗಿವ್ ಮಿ ಮರಣಂ, ರಕ್ಷಾ ಮಾಡು ಅಂದರೆ ಗಿವ್ ಮಿ ಲೈಫ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಫ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆತ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ. ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಡೈ ವೆನೆವರ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೈ. We can't be born whenever we want to be born, because there are hundreds and thousands of jivas waiting to get a birth at all. ಹುಟ್ಟೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪುಣ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಆಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾರಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುವ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮ ಜೀವಿಗಳು ತುಂಬ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಗರುಡ ಪುರಾಣ. There are hundreds of all those people who are dying or who are dead will be born again. No guarantee at all. There is also a big queue. We have to wait to get our interview with the Paramatma and decide what they will do for us. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅದೊಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾಸ್ಮಾಲಜಿ, ಕಾಸ್ಮಿಕ್ management, administration, and all that is there. So that's what I was telling, that it's not it's not HRD, human resource development. When we are doing puja, homa, vrata and all that is HRD. I mean DRD, divine resource development ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. So take PhD in DRD. In one sense, that will be very nice to us. I think I can stop here today and we'll continue with the last 2 mantras and then Om Swasti.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ओम शांति शांति शान्तिः. हरिः ओम तत्सत्. सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु, श्रीवासुदेवार्पणमस्तु, श्रीवेदपुरुषाशीर्वादोऽस्तु. ओम श्री मातृचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु. ओम तत्सत्. हरि ओम. नमस्ते गुरु.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Any feedback you give on this, Govind will be able to tell.